Hey, what's up, everybody? We're do a little hydro dip here with Smoked Outdoors. I did one the other day. I used a camera that I got. And it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I'm having trouble getting it transferred. And that's why one of the reasons I've been late on getting some videos to you guys. And I'm sorry about that. I'm working it out right now as we speak. But this is a super cool way and cheap. You know, a lot of time it's $500-$600 at least just to get a buck mounted. You know, a full head mount. So I was looking at. I ended up getting one this year that was Euro mount. I got two fulls too, but the Euro mount I got thinking about it, and I seen where some people were dipping them and stuff, and I was trying to think of something cool to do with it. And originally I was just gonna take my hand, dip it in paint, and just stick it on the face there, all crazy, and just kind of wing it just that way. It was a little bit different than the average just white skull and a plaque on the wall. So I got looking into it and stuff, and I've done a lot of experimenting with it now. I've done some gun stocks, and I've done 3 or 4 skulls now. Do cups. Really, I mean, you can dip just about anything that you want. But tonight we're going to do a deer skull. Maybe it can help some people out there get that trophy buck that can't really spend, $500-$600 or more on a mount, and they want something that looks pretty classy and decent to put on their wall. Please the wife too, so that way it's not just a dead deer head skull on the wall. You can make it kind of decent looking. So we're going to go ahead and do that. First thing you want to do is, I usually do this first, just so that way you don't get any paint or anything on it. You want to tape these up. Electrical tape is probably the best thing because it's kind of stretchy and you can kind of form it around there. But I use masking tape just because I had it sitting here, and I've had no issues with it. Really, all you got to do is, as long as it's not something that can't get wet, it doesn't matter if this antler gets wet. This is going to block the dip. So anything that'll block the dip from getting on anywhere you don't want it. You can tape up the teeth. I've seen people tape the teeth or something, I guess. And me, I think it's cooler with the teeth dipped and everything. So that's what we're going to do. But the first thing you'll do is get that taped up. Get you some paints. I got a few different color paints here and stuff. And you want oil-based paint, so that way it floats. It sticks really good. And then you're going to take it. You want to put a base layer. Paint everything all base layer with this. Be outdoors when you do this, and don't be around anything you don't want to get paint on with the wind blowing or anything like that. Like, I'm probably going to screw something up here, but it's okay because this whole porch has to be redone anyway. I've already destroyed it. But we're good with this. I'm going with black for my base paint. I've used lighter colors on all the other ones. I got an idea that I want to do with this one, so we're going to go with black. You want to get that on there nice, decent coat. This is going to be underneath your dip. But what this is for is if your dip doesn't cover everything, if it misses something or whatever, it still looks like you got it. So that's what this whole purpose is of this stuff. And with these deer skulls, especially like stuff that's dead heads or something you found out walking around, something's been out there for a couple of years and all cleaned up by the critters, they're going to suck up paint. I've noticed that dead heads take a little bit more paint usually, just because I guess they've been dried out so much from being out in the weather, sun, everything else. This helps also to preserve it too. This will make it legitly. And I'm using gloss on this one. I did a few other ones and I used camo just because it's sitting around, but I wanted to use it. I wanted the flat color from it. And they turned out really good. I was really happy with them. I'll grab one here in a little while and bring out. I'm just going around getting all the little nooks and crannies. Probably don't have to really worry about it too much because the dip's going to get 90% of it. But it's really cool how this stuff just does its thing. The other thing is, I'm always doing stuff the hard way. I'm out here in the dark trying to do this. I got my light here, but it's not tip-top conditions for this. I'm always in a hurry. Just want to make sure you get everything good. Make sure you don't miss no stuff. And with this one, I didn't even really get all the hide off of this 100%. It was a quick job. And we tried to get everything that I could off, but I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of time on it. It was just a demonstration. I should maybe take a little bit of time on it. This is a head from the first decent buck that I ever shot in my life. I never started trophy hunting until just a couple years ago. And I have I call it the head tree. I stick all the heads in the tree. Like I said, I don't have money and stuff like that to be doing all that stuff that, costs a lot of money, and I just don't have it. So I was sticking them in that, and this year I was a little bit more fortunate. I was able to be able to afford to get some decent mounts done and everything. So I'm going to do that. I've always wanted them. And then once you get that good, and let's get over here so we can see it better. Let that get good, and I got it all on there. Everything's all done. There's a couple spots that look a little lighter, and it's just where the skull itself is sucking that stuff up. But this stuff here should dry pretty quick. It's not real cold outside. As you can see, it's not the world's best paint job, but you just want to get enough on there to where it covers up all the, if something misses when you dip, a lot of times this will be patchy or something. This here will be there, and the way that I'm dipping this is I actually do want to miss some stuff for the ideas that I got going on. So, but we're gonna let that sit for a minute, and when it's dry, we'll continue on with the dip, and hopefully it turns out the way that we want. Well, here's a few that I've done already. These ones here I got on my mantle. I used camo on them just because I like the color of it. As you can see, I stained the antlers on it, and that really changed it and made it look pretty classy, and it looks pretty good there on the fireplace. My wife even let me keep it there, so it must look pretty good. But this was one that I done. This is actually the first one that I ever did. When you look at it, you can see where the undercoat and stuff saved some of it. But I mean, they turn out really good when you get them in there and get it just right. So definitely an awesome, cheap way to do this kind of stuff. Okay, so we've got this all dry now. Took a little longer than I thought. I let it sit overnight, put it in with the dehumidifier. It was a little chilly and damp out last night, so it took a little bit longer than what it normally does. It's pretty nice out today, though. We're gonna get all this stuff ready. Alright, before you go to dipping, this is my bucket. I've got this filled up with water. This is a smaller bucket than what I normally use. I usually use this big tote over here for bigger stuff, but I think I might be able to get away with him in the smaller one just because it's easier to fill and handle. And before you get started, make sure that you have piece of cardboard, anything, something to brush away the paint once you dip it. And this right here, get you a little stick or a pen or anything if you want to. I'll show you what this is for in a second here. And have your paints already. This one I'm going to use white, red, and green on and see how that turns out. I think it might turn out pretty cool. So, and I put a little bit more tape on the rack here, so with the smaller bucket, the angle that I'm going to dip it, you know, I just want to make sure I didn't get that into the water. So we'll go ahead and get started on this and see how she turns out. Alright, so with this, you're going to get your paints, get them all ready. Some of them are hard to tell, like they're not labeled on the front of them. So what we're going to do is I usually set the caps by the colors. Man, be Hercules, get this thing off here. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure your tub's, you know, pretty clean, so that way, you know, see I got a little speck of something that's already fell into there. And then you're going to start by putting some color onto it. Go ahead and let it get in there good like that. I think this is going to turn out really cool. This green's looking cool, how it's kind of giving off leaves. Remember, do this outside or something where it's got plenty of ventilation and stuff. I mean, don't want you getting sick or eye or any of that stuff off of it. You want to give it a good bit. You'll see how it kind of rings out and then it'll shrink back in. I think we're going to get a little purple in there. Oh, that's not good. Then you get your stick. And that's what that's for. You can just kind of swirl some stuff around in there like that. Get it kind of crazy looking. Then you get your skull. Now this is the important part. You want to be really slow with this. Give it a little shaky shake like that. Just make sure you don't pull it back up out of the water. Then that piece of cardboard or whatever you got, you want to smooth, get all that away from there. Pull her out. Heck yeah, that thing came out pretty awesome looking. your dip right there. And when that dries, that's going to look so much cooler because it'll take some of the stuff out of it there, like some of the shine and stuff, which is gloss. It's still going to be a little shiny, but that's going to come out really awesome looking. I'm happy with it. So like I said, save you some money and come out with something cool. And see, all that black was the undercoat, which I wanted to break up anyway. That's why I took that stick and kind of broke it up some, so some of the black would be poking through. But that's pretty crazy looking. It's a little different than normal. And then of course, if you want, you can stain these. I'm not sure what I'm going to do to them. I might paint this rack black or something. Just make this thing look really wild and different from most dips. That's why I did all the really colorful stuff on it. But like and subscribe to my stuff, man. Help me get this thing rolling, get some better stuff off here, and help us all experiment with some cool stuff and see what we can get out of her. Thank you all again. God bless. And I should have some more stuff on here real soon for y'all. Thank you again.